Hi learners, you're welcome to our fourth lesson in science, and today we are still looking at energy at sub-unit conversion and conservation of energy, but I expect that at the end of the lesson you should be able to explain the law of conservation of energy and to demonstrate how the various forms of energy are transformed. So let's kick start. Before we delve into the first objective, I ask you, what is the law of conservation of energy? All right, let's check out the answer. It states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. So take note of the first expression, but can be transformed from one form to another form. So take notes. It states that energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but can be transformed from one form to another. Now, this means that energy is constant everywhere or is the same everywhere. Energy is constant everywhere or is the same everywhere. All right. You may ask, this is not exactly true because, for example, if charcoal is on fire, you say the charcoal is actually what? Creating a form of energy. Scientifically, it is not true. The reason is that heat you are seeing from the heated charcoal is coming from within the charcoal. That is chemical energy stored in the charcoal is simply transformed into heat energy. So it's not that the heat energy has been created from nothing. It came from somewhere. It was transformed from one form, that's chemical energy. All right. Okay. So now let's move on to look at some of the activities that illustrate how energy changes from one form to another. Okay. So we are looking at the first one, using flashlight battery. Using flashlight battery to produce light in a bulb. Now look at the flashlights containing bulb or LED. So the battery inside is helping the bulb to produce light in a flashlight. So the question is, what form of energy is stored in the battery and into which form of energy is it changed, and then the light energy that is formed, what form of energy gives rise to the light energy? So all the questions I'm asking lead us to determine the energy transformation from the battery to the bulb. So now let's check the answer. Right, so we are saying in the battery we have chemical energy because in the battery we have electrolytes or chemicals that react to produce energy called chemical energy. Now this energy is now transferred to electrical energy. That's movement of electrons. And then from there form lights in the bulb alongside heat. And here you should be careful not to bring the arrow. It is plus, addition sign. You must also note that we don't use dash to connect the forms of energy, but we use arrow, meaning that the energy is being transformed from one form to the other. So take note of these features in order to write the correct energy changes or transformation. So now let's move on to the second one. Using electric pressing iron. using electric pressing iron. So this is the iron. Now remember, the electric iron is the focus, not the one who is using the iron. Now in the house, you connect the electric iron to the power source and you put on some knobs or turn on some knobs on the iron, then it starts producing the energy. So what is the energy transformation? As you connect the iron to a power source and put it on. All right, this is the answer. It is electrical energy in the power source change into heat energy in the electric pressing iron. I hope you have got these two so far. We'll move on to the third one, using what we call public address system. Using public address system, you know, information center, where the school is located, number one, they use what we call public address system. So you can see the picture here. You might have seen it somewhere else on cars in the market square or lorry stations. So what is the form of energy? Remember, again, we are not looking at the one speaking into the public address system. The focus is on the system itself. This one, you don't see any human being. That's the public address system. So now let's see. As you connect the distance to power source. So we have electrical energy to sound energy. Now let me explain something here. Surely someone have to speak into the system, or there should be an insertion of a media, audio media, for the sound to come. So someone will say, oh, it's rather sound first to electrical energy to sound again. You are not wrong. But remember, the focus is on the system itself. This means that when you speak into this microphone, or whichever microphone, some have the microphone here, your sound energy will now be changed by the device into electrical energy. And this electrical energy will now pass through some circuits, complex circuits, to the speaker. Okay, so even though you are speaking, giving sound, the device is actually converting electrical energy into what? Sound energy. So take note. Don't go and write a lot of forms of energy. You might get your answer wrong. So this is the answer. Now let's move on to the fourth one. We're saying dissolving calcium carbide. This chemical is sometimes used by people during festive activities. So just to create sound, violent reactions, and fire. So dissolving calcium carbide. Another chemical that acts similarly to calcium carbide is calcium oxide, or pellets, that's particles of sodium hydroxide in water. So we are saying that if you dissolve calcium carbide, calcium oxide, sodium hydroxide in water, what is the effect? What is the possible effect? Or what is the energy transformation? Good. There will be chemical reaction. So what is the energy due to chemical reaction? And then there will be increase in temperature. So what is the energy due to increase in temperature? Okay, now let's check. So before we put the energy transformation, this is an example. So this is a beaker containing water into which the calcium carbide has been dropped. There will be violent reaction, and a little, spark will generate what? A lot of flame. So what is a form of energy being transformed here? So we have chemical energy to what? Heat energy. As simple as that. So these are some everyday activities or some activities in the lab that bring or demonstrate how energy is transformed from one form to another. All right. We learned today the law of conservation of energy. We also looked at various ways by which energy can be transformed from one form to the other. We touched on the use of flashlight battery to produce light in a bulb. We looked at the use of electric pressing iron. We also looked at using public address system, and then finally we touched on dissolving calcium carbide or calcium oxide or pellets of sodium hydroxide in water, and the result is the energy transformation. So for our advanced learning, this is the last section of conservation and conversion of what energy, and we are supposed to read on reasons and ways of conserving energy. Reasons and ways of conserving energy. Reasons and ways of conserving energy. Congratulations for coming this far with me. I hope you have learned all you can. Now remember, we have other forms of energy or other activities and their energy transformations. I would entreat you to read further to acquaint or familiarize yourself with other energy transformations. Now make sure you download the exercise, because the exercise gives you more practice about the energy transformations. Till we meet again, bye bye.